this evening. We are getting started on time. I show that it is 6 p.m. I would like to welcome each of you to this evening's board meeting. I'd like to start by calling to order the regular monthly meeting of the Cape Girardeau Board of Education. It is Monday, April 28th, and the time is 6 p.m. Let the record show that all board members are present except for Mr. Cook and Mr. Welker. Please rise as we pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board, before us we have an agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Ware and Mr. Ritter. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion to approve the agenda carries. Next, we will begin. We've got a great list of recognitions, and I will turn it over to Dr. Binion to walk us through them.
Thank you all for being here. We have lots of recognitions. We've been doing some wonderful things this year, and we're just looking forward to celebrating them today. The first one we have is Skill USA. First up, we would like to honor our Skill USA medalists who recently competed at state. And if I could have Colton Poole for firefighting, Cameron Patterson for interactive application and video development, game development, Gage Dickey for video production, and Sydney Mazzico for video production as well. If you could come to the front, please, and Dr. Crowley as well. Can you tell us a little bit about Skills USA and kind of let us know?
Sure. So Skills USA, is this on? Yep. So Skills USA is a competition that our students at the Career and Technology Center get to participate in, similar to any secondary sport or extracurricular activity where they would go compete at districts and then have a chance to go to state. And then the difference here is we ultimately also get the chance to go to a national competition. So we missed one. Colton Williams, which is also another one for photography. So these two students were able to make it tonight. We have a representative from the adult side who is a Cape Central graduate, and then we have a representative on the secondary side, which is also a student at Cape Central. A little bit about the background here. We took 56 total students to Skills USA state competition, and we had 33 medalists. So when I say medalists, that's in the top three. 33 of our students medaled in the top three. We were at 100% in the top 10. I don't know if I shared that with you, but that's pretty impressive. So we're competing against other career centers in the state of Missouri as well as colleges in the state of Missouri. And of those, we had 19 state champions, which is a new CTC record. So we are extremely proud of these individuals here, and so you're looking at a couple of state champs right here who's fixing to go to Atlanta, Georgia and compete at the national level. So we have a couple of the students who couldn't make it. We had firefighting, which is a state champion as well. He'd mentioned Colton Poole. We had a couple of second place in video production. But we had interactive application and video game development, which was Cameron Patterson. That was first place right here. And then we had Colton Williams, which is first place in photography. As you can see, he's working here tonight, by the way.
Great job again.
Dr. Crowley, when will the Nationals be held?
June, around the week of June 20th is when we leave for the national competition.
Well, thank you all again. Thank you for all the hard work that you're doing in your Career Tech Center as well, Dr. Crowley. Next up is the Missouri 100 Scholars. We're excited to share that 2 students from CHS have been recognized by the Missouri Scholars 100 program. These students are among the most accomplished in our state. Caitlin Hill was named a 2025 Missouri 100 Scholar, while Delina Diaz received honorable mention. Congratulations to both of these incredible, talented students. If you could come up and we could get a picture with you, that would be wonderful.
Should have made you bring your yard sign. You got a yard sign too. Yeah, good job. Great job. Congratulations.
We're going to get our steps in today.
You are, back and forth.
Now, Dr. Binion, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I think Missouri Scholars 100 were probably one of not very many schools who had more than one person named to this list, either recipient or honorable mention.
That is exactly correct.
So pretty darn
and many
good.
schools don't even
Have one.
one. So this is very impressive, and thank you all for your hard work. And parents, congratulations as well. You have great young children. We appreciate you. Next is district athletic directors. Some of ours, 2 of ours got an award. I was looking to see if they're over here. They are over here. They're giving me the nod. All right, Coach. Thanks. And now we'd like to recognize Coach Connor and Coach Gahn. If you guys would come up here. Coach Connor was named the Middle School Athletic Director of the Year for Southeast Missouri. And Coach Gahn was named the Newcomer of the Year for Southeast Missouri. I feel like Coach Gahn's been here forever, but I know he's still considered a newcomer. We know how great these 2 are and are excited to see them receive these recognitions, and congratulations. Hopefully you got a chance to see actually them on the big billboard on, what is it, William Street? We want to take a picture with you too. Is it on William Street? Yes. Have you seen it yet? I didn't know if you're paying any attention, Coach Connor.
It makes a good face to look good on a billboard, guys. That's good.
Jared and I would know. That's right.
I don't know if I need to get you ready.
Behave yourself, Jared. Don't be bad. He's a bad influence.
You're not going to find 2 harder working athletic directors, I will tell you that. All right, next, that was the last. Our next is our Terrific Tigers.
Do you need somebody to read it?
Who's doing Terrific?
Dr. Fegley is the
Dr.
new reader.
Fegley is going to, so we're going to go back up here.
I know.
Yeah. I'm like, I think she's the reader.
Who was doing that, because I wasn't sure.
Oh, sorry. Terrific Tigers. So each building in the district selects a student based on service to others, leadership, and scholarship. And Dr. Fegley will now talk through our award recipients. Sorry, I'm screwing this up. I'm a Casey Cook impersonator right now, in the flesh, tonight.
Good job.
All right, Alma Schroeder Elementary, Margot Sanders, kindergarten, daughter of Jill and Matthew Sanders. Margot demonstrates wisdom beyond her years and, as a kindergartner, exemplifies responsibility, respect, and kindness toward both students and staff. She always has a smile on her face and a heart ready to help. Alma Schroeder is proud of this outstanding, terrific Tiger. Way to go, Margot. Blanchard Elementary, Namira Zaman, second grade, daughter of McShurato Janeth and Mohammed Rashidizman. I'm sorry if I'm messing up.
Making her earning money. She's earning her money
Namira has all the prerequisites of a terrific tiger that a terrific tiger should have. She's kind and endearing with an unparalleled work ethic and conducts herself with the highest level of integrity. Namira's most remarkable quality is her ability to persevere, which is a vital skill for achieving goals, overcoming obstacles, and developing resilience. Namira is an inspiration to her peers and teachers. Clifford Elementary, Gail Perez Pacheco, 4th grade, son of Celia Pacheco Santiago. Gail always comes to school ready to learn. Not only is he responsible for his learning, he is a wonderful friend to his peers. Gail is always respectful with his politeness and how considerate he is to others at school. He sets the tone of what it means to be a terrific tiger. Congratulations, Gail. We are so proud of you. Franklin Elementary, Cohen Salinas, 2nd grade, son of Angela Wano and David Salinas. Cohen has been selected as a terrific tiger due to his outstanding leadership by being a great role model. He consistently demonstrates a strong work ethic, actively engages in class discussion, and shows a willingness to help his peers. Cohen leads by example, displaying respect, responsibility, and he tries his best in all areas of learning. He is dedicated to working hard to learn, helping others, and being a great friend. Jefferson Elementary, Valeria Camacho Troques, 3rd grade daughter of Kenzie Troques and Luis Camacho. Valeria has a kind demeanor, always willing to help those in need, whether it is a classmate or her teachers. Her infectious smile lights up the room, and those that are around her can't help but to smile and follow suit. She is patient, understanding, forgiving, and strives to do her best. Valeria is truly deserving of this award. Central Middle School, Aubrielle Barnhill, 6th grade daughter of Elizabeth Hinkle and Del Reese Barnhill Sr. Aubrielle is a shining star at CMS, consistently demonstrating outstanding behavior and an unwavering commitment to excellence. She is not only kind and friendly, but also an exceptionally dedicated student who pours tremendous effort into everything she does, both in and out of the classroom. Her positive attitude is truly contagious, and she treats everyone with warmth and respect. Terry W. Kitchen Junior High, Yasmin King Carter, 7th grade, daughter of Kiara Selvey Carter. Central High School, Dominic Mattis, 12th grade, son of Amy and Ryan Mattis. Dominic is a responsible, driven, and courteous student at Cape Central. He's bright, has a large amount of patience, and is a fantastic role model and student leader for our underclassmen at Cape Central. Way to go, Dominic. Central Academy, Jordan Merciel, 10th grade, son of Danielle Nicholson. Jordan excels in the classroom with his hard work and dedication to complete all assignments. He is always willing to help others and is very respectful. Jordan treats others with respect and is always in class with a smile on his face, eager to do whatever is asked of him. Okay, we have a few left over from March. Terry W. Kitchen Junior High, Jordan Brooks, 7th grade, son of Amanda and Tyrone Brooks. Central High School, Cadence Probst, 12th grade, daughter of Gretchen and Brian Probst. Cadence?
Yes.
Yes, okay, I can't see anything. Cadence is unique among her peers because she is an authentic learner. She pursues understanding of concepts at a deeper level than most and is a true student seeking knowledge, not a grade. Her creative and critical thinking skills matched with her kindness will help her go far. And Central Academy, Charles Johnson, 12th grade son of Irene Chamberlain. Charles consistently demonstrates a strong commitment to excellence. In class, he has shown exceptional skills, creativity, and the ability to grasp complex concepts with ease. His ability to engage in thoughtful discussions and contribute unique insights makes him stand out among his peers.
All right, we're gonna do a group picture. All my smaller guys are in the front, all the smaller kids in the front row, and their big kids in the back row. And then we'll do a kickball game against big kids, little kids.
This is where you earn your pay, Paul.
I know, this is where I'm gonna screw it up already.
We want to play.
There you go. Maybe a middle row here, and we got a big back row here. What do you think? Come on in, back row.
It smiles right here for me, please.
Great job, everybody.
No, that may be better than Girardeau's. You never handed me.
We have lots of exciting snacks and desserts planned after. No, just kidding, just kidding. You can leave.
Are you stepping in for Mr. Loppe today? Oh, woo.
Yes.
We know what that means.
It will be so kindergarten.
It's our favorite.
We're gonna get in a sharing circle.
That's right.
That might actually help sometimes.
This is a rarity to see people moving forward to this part instead of backwards. I like your energy though. So the next item on our agenda is information, proposal, or comments from the audience. Beth, did we have any? We did not have any requests this month. So just as a reminder, in full transparency, if you'd like to speak before the board, requests to place an item on the agenda or to address the board should be submitted in writing at least 5 days in advance of the regular monthly board meeting. Please submit requests to the board secretary here at the Central Administrative Office. Constituents who request to address the board are allotted 3 minutes to speak. For more information regarding public participation at board meetings, please see board policies on our district's website. Now we will move into informational reports. Board President report, I am sitting in for Casey Cook, who is our newly elected board president. He is out of town for work in Florida tonight. I have nothing to report other than I'm excited that we're less than 3 weeks away from graduation for CHS
All right.
25. So with that, I will turn it over for the superintendent's report to Dr. Binion.
Thank you, thank you. Next on the report, hang on, I've got it in here somewhere. Maybe?
There's 2 pages.
I know, I have
Okay.
too many pages.
Okay. Just making sure.
Oh, yes. We had our Oscar night on Saturday, which we had a really good time at our Oscar night. Kudos to Kristen Talent, who did all the hard work and made it wonderful. I think Jefferson stayed the latest. They did wonderful, yes.
I go to bed at 8.
Yeah, same here. So we had a really good time. We had a great evening celebrating our staff on Friday night at the Oscars Award. We had about 400 people in attendance. It was a lot of fun and such an honor to be able to recognize our retirees and employees because of all their hard work they do throughout the year. So it's always wonderful. And yes, I know, I see you're pointing over there to that.
Yes.
Miss Scheller had her retirement there as well, and I got to put in a few jabs for her as for her retirement from high school principal. But we had a lot of fun. It was a lot, and all in good fun. Oh, and then she also got our big award, which is our Gerald Richard Award, for all of the community service stuff that she does and all the wonderful things she does with our kids as well. So we're really proud of you. Next is our, this is going to be fun too. I hope that you guys can, I know it's last minute to tell you this. Cape Central Middle School Choir Concert is tomorrow at 5:30, and it's our Roaring Tigers practice after school, and are under direction of Joseph Moore, who's at the Clifford Elementary. He is actually doing the choir at the middle school. So we're really excited about that. The music teacher at Clifford Elementary. The concert is tomorrow at the CMS gym starting at 5:30. Please show support for these students by attending if you can. We also had shout out to Cape Central Beta for being part of the city's 40th annual Friends of the Park Day. Beta spent the day cleaning up litter, planting flowers, mulching, and helping with general beautification efforts at the city parks. And don't forget about the Foundation Golf Tournament, that may come up in a little bit as well, is set for Monday, May 12th. If you're interested in playing, please contact Amy McDonald. The foundation supports our students and schools in a number of ways, so this is just a fun way to give back to our school district. And that's all that I have.
Well, thank you, Dr. Binion. Next, we will have, as part of our continuous school improvement plan, program evaluations, the first of which is guidance and counseling. And I will turn it over to Ms. Keys.
Okay, well, we are going to talk about how amazing our counseling department is. The first piece that I want to talk about, sorry, I'm pulling that up online because I was multitasking. 1 second, okay. It shows you that the cost of our entire counseling program budget is $1,468,229.13. That covers all of our staff, any supplies that we use in programming, curriculum, etc. All of my reports will always come under Learn 3 because that is the CSIP goal that I am a champion of. And our purpose is to develop and implement responsive, inclusive programs and services to meet the needs of all students. And in doing that, we better prepare our students for state and local assessments, and we prepare them to meet our portrait of a graduate as well. So if you look at the average number of students per building, that's wrong. It says September 22. I forgot to fix that to say September 2024. So I will get that fixed. That's from that benchmark. So that shows you how many students per school our counselors are working with. We have one counselor per elementary school. We have 2 at middle school, 2 at junior high, 4 technically school counselors, but we'll talk about what else they have at the high school, and then 1 at Central Academy. We're going to talk in a little bit about what the ratio should be for counselors to students and kind of what we're doing to try to help with that. So things that you will see our counselors doing, there's a whole list of professional development opportunities provided to staff, students, and parents. Our counselors do classroom guidance lessons. They cover the DESE standards for social emotional learning, as well as getting them ready for potential occupations, exposure to people from the community to see what they might be interested in. They do parent meetings. We have care teams, which is to support our students academically or behaviorally if they might be struggling. You can read all the things on there that they do. I won't read them word for word. And then the most important thing they do is the individual work they do with students. So in addition to the classroom guidance, they provide one-on-one counseling when needed. They pick select small groups, so there may be an anxiety group. There may be, there was a group one year that was a kindergarten group, and it was called the Wiggles group because they all had the wiggles and needed a little, some coping skills to help them manage their need to wiggle and be able to learn at the same time. And so we just the counselors look at what the needs are in the building, they seek guidance from the teachers, and then we develop our small groups around that. They also serve on many committees which are listed there. But I would like to actually go into the strengths of our programming. 2 years ago, we received our third school-based therapist. We have an amazing relationship with the Community Counseling Center. They provide us 3 school-based therapists and a crisis counselor at no charge to the district. They provide one-on-one counseling services. They provide anytime we have a student that has suicidal or homicidal ideation, they come immediately and do an assessment on those students to help them secure any further support that they may need. And they also do follow-up with any kid that goes through our crisis assessment for up to 6 sessions. And then the district picks up anything that we think might be necessary after that. We also have a district-funded mental health support counselor. That is Teresa Campbell. She is amazing. She serves a caseload of about 25 kids, and that fluctuates who she works with because she'll work with kids and then they'll rotate off her caseload because they're doing so well, and she'll pick up other kids. So we received her through a grant a couple years ago and saw such a benefit that we decided to put district funds toward her position. The thing that's great about her position is that there's no red tape because we're not billing insurance for her. So it's one signature and she can serve, whereas any other therapist that we work with, there's a lot of paperwork for the parents to fill out because of billing, and sometimes that becomes overwhelming to our parents, or transportation becomes an issue, which we do help provide transportation, but it's just difficult for them to get there. So we're very thankful for her. I talked about the small groups already. We've had grief groups, substance use groups, sensory coping skills, anxiety, depression, lots of different groups. Our school counselors currently are prepping for and implementing MAP and EOC testing. So if you're in the schools, you'll see dark hallways, quiet signs, things like that as they're preparing for testing and trying to make sure our students are as focused as they can be for that. And the next area is program data concerns. So this is kind of the big piece that I want to talk about, and then we'll talk about the things that we have accomplished since our 2022-23. So MSIP 6 says that you should have a 1 counselor to 250, they recommend 1 counselor to 250 students as an appropriate ratio. So if you look at that, I kind of just went down, I won't read all of them, but based on that September benchmark, it will show you that a lot of our schools need a little more support than what they're getting. The way that we are handling that in most of our schools right now is through the use of our 3 school-based therapists, as well as Teresa, our mental health support specialist, counselor. So with those 4 people, they're providing supports across all of those buildings, which provides extra hands on deck. Our biggest concern is Jefferson. They really need a 1.98, which is about as close to 2 as you can for a counselor. That does include pre-K, which right now there's limited pre-K stuff. We have some other people doing social emotional learning, things like that with our pre-K students, but that is something that we're looking at addressing in the future. Our middle school, they have 2. It looks like they need a 2.5, but middle school also has a school social worker that's based out of there, and she spends the majority of her time there, but she also supports 3 other schools. So social workers can also provide counseling services. So that's kind of how we, again, are picking up some of those other schools and making sure we have a high enough ratio to support our students through the use of her. Terry W. Kitchen. Looks like they need a 2.4. However, they also that's where Carolyn Thomas, our lead district social worker, is housed. And so she makes up that other 0.4. She provides small group also and individualized support as needed. And she is also one of our Care to Learn liaisons for the district, so she's able to support our families across the district and any needs that they have. And then Central Academy and Franklin both have solid ratios. They're doing just great. Career and Technology Center also has a counselor that helps with secondary education as well. And I did also want to mention that the high school looks like they would need a 4.5. They have 4 counselors, but they also have Nancy Strothman, who works with all the seniors on post-high school planning, and they do also have a social worker that provides small group and individualized counseling there. So the high school is heavily supported, plus they have access to school-based therapists as well. So our goals from 22-23, I left them on here specifically because I wanted you to see that we met them. We were looking for ways to support our students and staff with discounted counseling sessions in the community. So it's actually easier. If you have Medicaid eligibility, there's no cost for counseling services. If you have private insurance, it's very expensive for most places to attend attend counseling sessions. It's like $115 to $150 a session. Thankfully, our district added that for teachers as just a $25 copay a couple years ago, which was a huge blessing for our staff. For our students, though, we have developed an MOU with Great Oak, and they serve our students at a discounted rate, and we can help provide funding for that through our Care to Learn program. We have also purchased new materials. That's something we wanted to do to make sure we were supporting our counseling standards, and we continue to add new resources annually. And we are working toward the progress of our MSIP 6 standards, as well as continuing to update our manual to make sure that we're following all the guidelines that we need to do. So our program goals for this year, we want to continue to make connections with community partners. We want access to more mental health providers in the community that will hopefully work with us at a discounted rate for our students' benefit. We want to continue to work toward those MSIP 6 standards for our ratios and continue to update our district counseling manual as well as our suicide prevention plan, because there are some new resources that just came out from the state. So we're going to work on updating our programming this summer. I strongly believe that our counseling services that we have for our district are far above average, and I say that because I visit with other districts often, and I call bigger districts. I talk to districts in St. Louis and Columbia, and I say, okay, these are all the things that we offer. What are we missing? And they say, I don't know, because we don't offer all of those things. And I think that that's just a huge compliment to our community and how much our community wants to sow into our school district and into our students and our families. So we are very blessed. Our counselors go above and beyond, and I think they do a great job. Any questions? Okay. What's next? Special ed or health services?
Student health
Health
services.
services. Okay. Our budget for student health services is $639,721.81. That does not include our partially funded early childhood nurse, because that is funded federally. So again, this actually gives you a list, and Franklin is not up to date. I'm not really sure why, but when I looked at their numbers, they weren't. This shows you that this school year, our nurses have seen to date 29,496 visits to their office. So our nurses are very important with our students. I'm working on getting Franklin's data corrected so that I can get that to you guys. One of the things that we are blessed with in our district is that all of our school nurses are RNs. We've discussed in the past hiring LPNs, but because of the nature of the needs of our students and the increase in severity of medical needs, we've determined that we feel like that's still our best case scenario. All of our nurses stay up to date on current medical information. They write and implement healthcare plans. They assist with health screenings. They do shot clinics. They help with medical information for 504s and healthcare plans. They assist families in connecting with outside resources. Some of our buildings provide dental programming. Several of our nurses are members of the Missouri Association of School Nurses, and they attend conferences. And all of our school buildings have access to Narcan, and we have several staff members that are trained to use that if necessary. We actually, Josh just recently got access to more of those, and so we can have them in.
We've always had it, but it outdated it, so we got a fresh supply.
Yes. Then it shows you professional development that our nurses provide to staff, students, and parents. I won't go through all of that. I did want to show our prior concerns were that the medical needs of our students were becoming increasingly complicated. We have increased professional development for our nurses and staffs, and we have also hired one-on-one nurses for students with significant needs. So that's another thing that we have done to make sure that we're keeping kids safe at school. We have a partnership with EBO. They are now doing all of our standing orders that we need, and they also assisted us with getting, we wanted to get EpiPens and emergency albuterol in all of our schools, and EBO assisted us in doing that. So that was huge, and I'll tell you why in just a second. We do continue to have a number of students struggling with anxiety and depression, and oftentimes that manifests itself in feeling nauseous. or lightheaded, and so kids will end up at the nurse, and so the nurse triages and realizes that they really need to see a counselor, so some of the students are coming through there to get the assistance that they need. Our prior program goals were to provide professional development on our current medical trends. We did that. We wanted to stock the emergency albuterol and EpiPens. That is a strength. Not every district was able to do that, so we're very thankful for that. We did confirm a new medical director, and that is EBO that's doing that for us. And we wanted to add a part-time, in the 23-24 school year, we wanted to add a part-time nurse for Central Academy, and we have also done that. So current concerns, we just continue to get increasingly complicated, medically challenged students in our district, and so just wanting to stay up to speed on that. And then there is a large number of office visits at the junior high. Several years ago, I wanted to look at increasing that position, but I think we just really need to look at why they're all going to the nurse. One of the things that I'm wondering is because our district social worker travels, maybe they're going to her for care to learn needs, like health, hunger, hygiene things, and so we might need to figure out how to route that. I don't know, I need to talk to administration about that, but that was a concern that I had. And then our current program goals, we are digitizing our medical charts, which is great. We're doing that with most of our stuff right now. We're also working to have each building become a heart-safe school, and that will create an emergency response team for any cardiac emergency that happens in a building. The junior high currently holds this status, and we're trying to spread that across the district. Because of our access to emergency albuterol, we have significantly decreased our need to call emergency services for asthma attacks. So that has been huge. Our families have been extremely grateful, and that just shows how important that was. So again, I would like to say that this program is above average due to all of our nurses being RNs. We had a split position head nurse between Ashley Bowers and Heather Bartles. They've done an excellent job. Our partnerships with, again, community health agencies and the community health department are really helping us. One thing that I didn't put on here as a concern, and it's not really a concern because we have a plan, but just to mention that, you know, there has been a measles outbreak, and we have had all of our school nurses work with the health department on what would be our plan if something like that happened. We know who our students are who aren't vaccinated, who we would need to make sure that they were safe, and we do have a plan in place for all of that too. So our nurses were thinking way ahead on that. Any questions about our nursing program?
Kudos to the nurses. They're great people.
They are. They're all sweet.
They really are.
All right, the last one for me is the special ed department. This year, we have 660 students that have IEPs. That includes early childhood through 12th grade. You'll kind of see our trend for the last 3 years on there. Again, this falls under Learn 3, which is developing and implementing responsive inclusive programs and services. This has our student map data. This is for students specifically with IEPs. So if our students have significant needs, it makes sense that their MAP scores are going to be lower. However, it doesn't excuse the fact that we should be making sure that our students are provided with opportunities to engage with that general ed curriculum so that they are better prepared for high stakes testing. So what you'll see on, if you look at the English language arts under grades 3 to 5, you'll see the district scores versus the state scores, and then the math versus the state scores. The summary is below that we are below the state average. However, growth did occur in ELA from 23 to 24, from the 23-24 to 24-25. And then in the math area, we did have some growth in that area as well, but we continue to need to make sure that our students are accessing the curriculum, the grade level curriculum, so that they can be better prepared. And then you'll see the same thing for grades 6 through 8. So the district has had a decline in the last 3 years in ELA in grades 6 through 8. Math has kind of gone down and is moving back up as compared to the state level. Each year, it's difficult to compare 22, 23, and 24 because it's different kids that you're looking at in each of those cohorts. So it's I feel like sometimes not comparing apples to apples. I would like to see, last year's kids' scores and how much better they did this year, but that just is difficult to portray in a graph. So, high school students, our ELA has taken a dip, you will see on the left side, but our math has actually risen above the state average. I think that's the first time we've had that, so I'm really excited about that. And want to make sure that we're continuing to do the great things that the high school is doing to make sure that the students are ready for that testing. Under other notes, it's just basically an explanation about how the special ed department works. Every student has an individualized education plan or program. They meet at least once a year to review that with the parent. There's a team who makes that decision, with the parent being a major piece of that team and giving input, and us making sure that we are using their input in the writing of that. And then we do evaluations every 3 years on our students, so that's just a bigger explanation of that. The next chart you're going to look at is our educational environment. So least restrictive environment is a term that you hear in special ed a lot. Basically what that means is you want our students to be in the regular classroom as much as possible with appropriate supports, is what that means. So you always want your highest percentages to be in that inside regular class 80% or more category. So if you look at the 23-24 percentages in comparison to the state, we still have a little bit of work to do. I will say that, and I don't know where I wrote this in here, but one of the things that is amazing about our community is that we have so many resources in our community for our kids with special needs. We have lots of behavior clinics. We have lots of speech language resources in our community, and people are moving here for those resources, which is awesome, right? But that means that we're getting students with more significant needs in our district every day. And that's okay, because we love them and we are going to make it work and we are going to support them. But that does tend to skew our data a little bit, and that is my explanation to the state, and they seem to be understanding of that we do have students with very high needs in our district that some of our surrounding districts don't have because their families are moving here to get other services. But that's not an excuse, again, that's just a fact. We want to continue to work toward including our students more. Strengths, our students with IEPs have a 4-year graduation rate of 82.4%. That's higher than the state's average, so we're really proud of that. Our dropout rates for students with disabilities have declined. We make sure that data is collected at least weekly on all of our students' goals and objectives, so that when we sit down with a parent, we are speaking educably about how their student is progressing. I noted that parents report they're moving here because we provide great resources, but also because we have great resources in our community. We work well with all of the outside agencies. We have agreements with them. We've got students that come back and forth between our programs. We have great relationships with them. Our state-required paperwork has always received high marks. We're under a desk review right now, so they're reviewing our paperwork. I haven't heard back, so I can't report. I'm going to think that is a good thing, that I haven't heard anything yet. And we just continue to work with our special ed teachers' knowledge of the science of reading. They're working closely with our reading teachers to make sure that our implementation of the science of reading across the board is being done equitably. Areas for improvement, we talked about that we need to think outside the box to increase our student access to the general ed curriculum so that they will hopefully perform higher on those assessments. But standardized test scores are not everything, especially when you're working with kids who need to learn how to talk and communicate so that they can be safe. So the district continues to analyze. One area that I really struggle with is that our rates of African American students identified as having an intellectual disability and or a language impairment, they're disproportionate to the percentage in our district. And so I'm working with our psych examiners, and we're really trying to look at those guidelines one at a time and make sure that the students that we are assessing are actually meeting those guidelines, and that it isn't related to some other factor outside of the school's control. So again, I would say that we are above average in this area, and I say that because I do talk to all the surrounding districts. I'm always wanting to learn more, and this is not me tooting my horn, this is the teachers in our district and the ideas that they have. But I've talked to Dr. Beck before about, like, I need to connect with people outside of our area because they are coming to us for ideas, and that is awesome, and I love that, but we need people to help us grow. And so I'm always looking for ways to do that as well.
And we are going to visit special school district
Yes.
in St. Louis and meet
Yes.
with their entire team
Yep.
in the near future.
I did meet with Columbia School District, and they're the ones who said, I'm not sure we can give you any more resources. It sounds like you have a lot going. So, yep, we're going to keep trying. Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Keys. Next, we will welcome, one night only, from the Community Teachers Association. Big round of applause. The stage is yours. Seats here.
Guess I talk here.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Okay. This list is giving we have 16 and a half days of school left because it's not completed. Not every school submitted something, so we're going to just go with it. Alma Schroeder, shout out to the cafe staff, basically saying that they have smiles on their faces every day. Miss Schott, Miss Angie Schott, she came out of retirement to just be their psychological examiner. That's awesome. I don't know who would come out of retirement, but that's pretty great. Shout out to Jeannie, their custodian. She's the true backbone of Sweet Home Alma Schroeder. She knows the building inside and out and just makes it a better place to be. That was Alma Schroeder. They did their homework, okay? They had the longest section. We have Blanchard. Shout out to Julia, who goes above and beyond for all of her students. There was no last name listed, so we're just assuming it's Julia. There we go. Julia Williams. Slay. Okay. Christy Jones for all of the map prep activities, because you know Blanchard goes hard with map. And I taught third grade there 1 year, okay? And I know they go hard for that, so shout out to her because I know it's a lot of work. I'm not going to mention the schools that didn't submit anything. Central Academy, they basically are bragging about how they had so many people get Oscars. Shout out to Miss Burley for getting Teacher of the Year. Literally, it's all shout outs. Teacher of the Year, Miss McCarroll, for getting Regional Counselor. Does anybody know what the last name is?
Miracle.
Miracle?
We celebrated her at our last board.
Yeah.
We did.
She's awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Congrats to Mr. Okay, listen, I shouldn't do this because these last names are hard. McMullen for his Vice Principal Award. Okay. Clippard, shout out to the 3rd and 4th grade teachers for map prep. As you can tell, that's really on our minds right now, map prep. And most schools are starting tomorrow, April 29th. It's my birthday tomorrow. So, yeah. So some people are celebrating map testing. I'm celebrating my golden birthday. So it's the last exciting birthday of my life. Okay. Listen, I shouldn't say anything.
Golden birthday.
Yeah, have you never heard of golden birthday?
When you turn the age of the date, you're 29 on the 29th.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you were 50. I was like,
No. I
We're
turned.
way too old to know what that is.
No. It's the golden
Sorry.
birthday. Turn 29 on the 29th.
I
I
like
said my
it.
next exciting one is senior citizen discounts, right? Okay.
You too.
It's fine. CTC, shout out to their Skills USA people. We heard them earlier. 19 gold, 6 silver, and 8 bronze. That's really awesome. And shout out to Mr. Abernathy and Miss LeGrand and Miss Guffey and Miss Yount for all of their work with them. Franklin, I feel like this is every month. Shout out to Miss Dean for being an amazing administrator, which much deserved. She always has her door open. High school, shout out to Miss Newman. This is so cool. For teaching her food classes about giving back through the Kids Feeding Kids program, and they actually made 285 meals to give back to the Cape Food Bank on Saturday. That's like, oh my God, like real world kind of work. I like it. Jefferson's not on here, so I'm just gonna make my own, okay? Because no one submitted anything. I'm gonna say shout out to Miss Bittner, our art teacher. She's been painting our hallway. Like we have these in the new section of the building. There's these like awesome giant windows, and she's been painting murals every single season to match what we're, like right now. There's like a cute little duck wearing rain boots. I mean, it just makes you happy. Middle school, oh Lord. Maybe they win. Okay, shout out to Mr. John for always being sweet and kind to everyone. Shout out to Miss Krittner and Miss Hartman for being Oscar winners. We are so proud. Shout out to Miss Asher for seeking advice as a new teacher and being willing to try out new things for her students. That's amazing First-year teachers, listen, when you're a first-year teacher, that's scary. Okay. Thank you, Mr. B, for working so hard on the social studies curriculum. Shout out to the 5th grade ELA team and Miss Elkstrom for working together to provide cohesive lessons. Wow, okay. Shout out to Mr. Wilson for always going above and beyond for the students, staff, custodial staff, the school. He sees a need and he gets the job done. Shout out to Ms. Deloach and Ms. Centers for all their hard work with map testing. There's the trend again. Shout out to Ms. Debbie for taking on her new role with Strides. Doesn't say what her new role is, but I'm sure she's doing great. Shout out to Ms. Macon for always being willing to help out wherever needed. She jumps into a classroom without hesitation. That's it. Yeah! Each time I do it, it gets smaller and smaller.
Well, I think the font gets smaller. It's
I
like
know.
a
Well,
4-point
listen.
font on there.
It's HP Instant Ink. You pay per page.
I think you told us this
I
time.
did tell you last time.
Your commitment to excellent reporting and cost cutting is duly noted for the record.
Hire me. I could save y'all some money. Wait, I'm already hired.
I was like, wait a second. I think she works for us already.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Fantastic. Next up is the Treasurer Finance Report. Do we have somebody standing in for Lindsay?
Yes, I will.
Oh.
Oh, I know. Oh, boy.
Sharpen your pencils.
This may go south. Lindsay texted me today, you sure you don't want me to go over that with you? I was like, no, I've got it. I'm okay. So we're just going to start with the beginning. Fund balance for March 1st, 2025. Currently, we have in our general fund $30.9 million. Our revenue for this month is approximately $1.6 million. We did transfer $1.9 million over to our special revenues to pay our teachers, which is always good. And then we also had to transfer an additional $1.4 million as well. Which brings our general revenue fund to $29.2 million. And then over at our capital projects, Josh is finishing up some projects, so hopefully we'll start building that fund back up. And it's around $3.2 million in our capital projects funds. And we're going to continue to build that so that we can do some of those smaller projects with our 10-year plan. And I'm sure Josh will Mr. Crowell will talk about that. Number 6 on my bullet point here is cash and investment details, as you can see. And our overall monthly ending cash balance is $37.6 million. And that's it. Any questions?
Do we have any difficult questions for our stand-in CFO?
Please don't.
Seeing none, we will move on to the district-wide athletics report. Just kidding, Mr. Crowell. We're going to go support services.
I
We'll go and
love
support
that. I would
services.
skip over 'em.
It was a pump fake.
All right, good evening, board. Quick update on facilities. May 15th at Central Middle School, we will have some public meetings for input from our parents, community, constituents regarding our long-range facility plan. 2 meetings are scheduled for that night, one at 5 p.m. and one at 6:30. Ms. Talent will be doing a public release and getting that information out there and publicizing it so that we can have as much input as possible. We have 2 different times depending on work schedules, events that parents may have, things of that nature. Our last committee meetings from our internal and external committee, and they've just been a wonderful group of individuals. Not everybody's been able to make every single one of them, but through it all, we've had very consistent turnout internally and externally. Will be May 5th. As a reminder, the long-range facility plan will be brought to you all as a board for adoption in June. And then currently, we're making several small roofing repairs around the district. The storms this spring did a little bit of none of it is insurance claims at this point, but more cosmetic type of flashing damage and things of that nature. We're very, very fortunate that we didn't have significant damage like other communities around us. We do have security footage from our videos where on the 14th of when the tornado was coming through Delta and actually zeroing in our high school, you can actually see the tornado suck back up in the clouds and jump over, and then it landed back on South Kings Highway and then made a diagonal down Independence, cut across to Broadway and towards KBS 12 Tower. So we're, again, just very, very blessed that we did not have any significant damage. We also are making pothole repairs. Everybody, rightfully so, is concerned about our parking lots, but that's also a part of our long-range facility plan. The asphalt plant is finally back open from winter time. They shut down during the winter. So a lot of times people have justified concerns about potholes in our parking lots, but we can't patch them until the asphalt plant is back up and open, and so it is open, and we've been making repairs. For our nutrition services, we are going to continue to participate in the DESE CEP program. Every 4 years, we must renew our participation, and this is the program where all students, regardless, receive free breakfast and lunch if they so choose. And we're grateful as a district to continue to provide this for our families. Every 4 years, you're up for renewal in that program, and there is a commitment from the district to help offset any incurred costs. Originally, when we did this, if you were on the board back then, it was around $150,000. We're down to around $80,000 is what we're looking at contributing for our part. But prior boards in our community saw that it was a valuable service, and so we want to continue on with that. And since there was a motion originally, it does not need to go back to you. We're just renewing it, but I'm informing you all. Our transportation services, next year will be the last year of our contract with Robinson, and so next year we'll be going through the bidding process on that. I'm just wanting to give you all a heads up that that's a big contract that goes out every 5 years, and that'll be coming down the pipeline for you all. Other than that, I have nothing else to report unless you have any questions, concerns, or comments.
Who knew there was a local asphalt plant?
I had no idea.
The things you learn in the Sports Services Report. This is why we're paying attention. Good stuff. Thank you, Mr. Crowell. Next up is the District-wide Athletic Director Report. Mr. Tyson Moyers, the floor is yours. Yes.
Again, you're going to get Josh upset because nobody clapped for him. High school, junior high athletics. We're just past the midway point for our high school sports this spring, baseball and track. We'll have their SEMO conference events this weekend, golf on Monday, on Wednesday, excuse me. Tennis and golf will be heading to their postseason events very soon. We have the good fortune again of hosting our girls soccer district tournament here at Tiger Stadium. Junior high sports are wrapping up their seasons this week. I want a quick word on our two athletic directors who were honored earlier this week. I'm the MIAAA representative, so every fall is when they make those nominations. And I was they nominate them to me. So it's I know how hard they work, but for other people in other districts to reach out to me and say, hey, we want to nominate Mike or we want to nominate Derek for these 2 awards, that was pretty awesome to see. So really proud of both of those guys. They work really hard. Elementary and middle schools, our regular season soccer is concluded, but we do have 5 all-star teams that will be competing in local tournaments the month of May, which is up from 3 from last year. So we're happy we're seeing that program continue to grow. Track and field is close to wrapping up its season. We started that season with 112 participants, grades 1 through 6. Baseball and softball practices are underway. We have 11 softball teams and 9 baseball teams spread over grades 1 through 6. Baseball has approximately 110 participants, while softball sits at approximately 140 participants. Our coaches are hosting multiple camps this month in accordance with our CSIP plan. Football, volleyball, girls basketball are all holding camps. In addition, softball, Coach Compass is hosting 2 clinics for coaches and players this week for pitching and catching, and also just general help for our youth coaches. Baseball and soccer held future Tiger Night practices and games, which our teams have been doing for each season. Bound, our next part that what I wanted to talk about, and they sent me a short video to show, and it just wasn't what I felt was something that would be interesting to you guys. It's more geared towards athletic directors than it was a Board of Education. So through our athletic department, we have multiple different platforms that we use. For many of you know, because you go to them for certain parts. What we're going to go to is a program called Bound that marries most of those together in one spot. It's not only going to help us as a department, specifically at the high school and junior high levels, but also in the youth sports, because that's where our registration is going to be held. So currently, registration, you go to register in all sports at Final Forms. Ticketing is hometown ticketing. Facility use is typically a Google Calendar through one of our athletic directors. Our public-facing site is Missio. All of those things are going to come together in our one site Bound. And the best part about it is the cost savings. We spend, in those other sites, we spend somewhere around $10,000 a year on those sites. Whereas coming to this, we're going to add a facility use part that's really going to be helpful to the district, and it's only $2,500. So we're going to save some money on that side by putting all of them together. And also, I hear about this, especially when we first put it in, but our online ticketing platform, the fees on that, it's $1 a ticket plus the 0.2. This is 90 cents a ticket, flat fee for those. No matter how many tickets you buy, it's going to be that 90 cents. So our parents and fans are going to save some money for this as well. So that we really like that part of it as well. So just so you know, it's going to get rolled out. We're doing onboarding now, and then it'll get rolled out this late May, because we'll start registrations for all of our fall sports this summer. So we're really happy about this. Local districts that already used it, actually, when they jumped into it, I was looking at it before, but when they did it, I thought, well, this is great. So Sykeston and Notre Dame both use it. I'm like, and I called both those athletic directors, so it's been a game changer for them. The public-facing site's really going to be helpful too. It'll be linked in our website on capetigers.com, but the way you're able to use it and get communication through it, it's really part of what Dr. Ben, you wanted me to bring this up because of part of Kristen's CSIP initiatives as well. So my last thing is we had Special Olympics at Tiger Stadium this past weekend. Yeah. So so there's links there to Bella Pattengill came and took pictures. So there's 38 pictures I think she took of our athletes. We had 9 athletes participate this year in our 3rd through 6th. We would have had more high school athletes, but special prom was this weekend. We do look to expand our programming. As I've told you before, Mandy has been instrumental in getting our special ed teachers across the district into this program and starting this program, and we look to expand it to the junior high and high school next year for track, and then other sports as we go, specifically basketball and bowling, but we'll talk about that as we go. Courtney Hanstein, Michelle Beard, Julia Williams, Kelsey Tushoff, and Trevor Moorhead did a lot of the coaching of our athletes. They had to have 6 practices before they went to the event. So they took care of those practices at the middle school and also on their own sites. Again, like I said, 9 of our 12 athletes were there Saturday that are performing. The big thing, too, I want to point out, and Mandy, I'm sure, want Mandy to add to it, are volunteers for this. That's the only thing that always stresses me out is we've had this 3 years ago, the last time we had it, and I always worry that we're going to have enough people there to help. Scott Williams always says, hey, when we're at Notre Dame, we always have plenty of volunteers. So when I put that emails out, I said, hey, make sure we're making sure that we're showing our Tiger pride too. So our track team, junior high baseball team members, football team members, girls golf, boys basketball, FCA, and our student senate ran the concessions. I mean, showed out, really had a great group of kids that came to help. And I know those kids will come back. Having volunteered for this event before, those kids really, it means more to them than it does anybody, right? So.
Yeah, I would just add that we had some teacher assistants show up that didn't have to be there, that were supporting their students and making sure that they were well managed so that their parents could actually enjoy the event and not have to focus on, chasing around their child. But we had some of our high school track kids that actually did the 4x100 with the last group of students who were running it. and they did it together. And it was kind of funny because the first kid took off, and the peer that was running with him from high school thought he was going to be taking it easy. He did not. I mean, this guy just took off bolting, and he was struggling to keep up. And so it was pretty cool to watch. But they, for kids that were nervous about participating, our high school kids stepped right up and participated with them. Some of them have never done anything like that before, but it just seemed really natural, so it was really cool.
And I heard from several parents of that said something to me about how much they liked having it at Tiger Stadium. We do bounce back and forth between us and Notre Dame because we run another conference meet opposite of this week, so the back and forth is a little easier when we're running 2 track meets. But but I did get a lot of response. It was done by 1 o'clock, which is great for our families because they're not, they need to get. I mean, for my own family, you're sitting around for an hour and a half waiting for your events, and then once you got into your events were really smooth, and it was really good. So everybody said they enjoyed being here more than they did at the other place, which made us happy.
We got an email about it maybe coming back to us.
Yes, yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Yep.
I just want to add to something you said. It's a little bit off track, but not all the officers that were there were amazing too. But we also had from the special ed portion earlier, StarQuest, which our Candace Schnurbush and Aaron Ross put on at the high school, which is a talent show where our students with special needs partner with a student without special needs, and they do some kind of talent. And throughout the day from 9 to 2 or 9 to 1 when the programming was going on, classes were rotating in that didn't have EOC testing to watch. And our students, we just have great students at CHS, period. They were cheering for all of the kids. They were giving everybody standing ovations. There was a kid who performed and he threw out balls with like his little baseballs with his signature on them. And the kids were going nuts over trying to get the balls. There were a couple kids that I heard ask about a particular student that they wanted to see, and they were going to have to miss their lunch to be able to stay and see it. And the teacher at the door gave them the option, and they chose to skip their lunch, which I think we were able to get them lunch later. But it was really special to see our kids support their peers in that way. So we should be very proud of our Tigers.
For sure. Any questions for me? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have board reports. MSBA delegate report. Dr. Fegley.
I don't have much. The delegate assembly, I think it is June 16th. We will hear more at that delegate assembly in June. That's where we establish the platform, the legislative platform. So we should be getting some information out about what's on that, and I will be sharing that with you as soon as I get access to that, and then you guys can give me some feedback so that when I attend that meeting, I can say, hey, what about this? We want. Okay. So that's all I have on that.
Awesome. Moving on to the legislative report.
Yes, okay, I have a few things. First, we'll talk about open enrollment. This is HB 711. It has passed the House. It's at the Senate now. The Senate Education Committee passed it, and so the bill is placed on the Senate's formal calendar, likely will be debated this week. There were a few changes, so when a bill moves from the House to the Senate, then the Senate has like the ability to make changes to the bill. So the notable changes were that they upped the transfer limit of students that could transfer from one district to the next from 3 to 5%. Districts would no longer be required to provide transportation, and charter schools are now allowed to participate. So this is just my regular reminder that this is a great opportunity to reach out to our legislators. In this instance, it would be in particular Senator Berger. Also, I will remind you, I've said this before, but this is a topic that he specifically said he would like to hear from people on, both board members, community members, parents. So it's a good opportunity to reach out. This is also going to be something that I've repeated in the past, but I just want to say it again. Just some talking points of why open enrollment is disadvantageous for our community. It diverts resources out of our community. It can shrink the number of extracurricular programs that a district is able to provide. It has an inordinately negative effect on our SPED students because it allows districts to deny based on SPED status and lowers community support and involvement. It is just always best to keep schools community-based. That is what serves our community best. So that is open enrollment. Moving on to the budget, we actually have some good news on this front. I have spoken in the past about how there was a $300 million deficit for school funding, but the Missouri Senate Appropriations Committee allocated that additional $300 million to fully fund the foundation formula, which is what we want. At the same time, they stripped the $50 million in general revenue that was intended for like the voucher program. Again, that is good news for public education. So that is expected to be debated and likely finalized this week. At that point, then the House and the Senate have to like go back and kind of renegotiate and vote. But we should see some major movement because the deadline is May 9th. So we don't have a lot of time before that has to happen. I also want to say this is another great opportunity to reach out to your senator or your House rep, especially your senator in this case. They do not want to hear from you only when you have bad things to say. So if you have something positive to say to them, that's a great reason to reach out and say, hey, saw that the Senate gave that additional $300 million to public education. Love to see that support of our schools. So you can say positive things to your senator too. Last thing I wanted to talk about is the omnibus education bill. This is a bill that encompasses several things, but one thing in particular we've been keeping our eye on is the inclement weather issue that we kind of dealt with this winter with having to use AMI days. Currently, it is just sitting with the Senate Education Committee, kind of keeping an eye on it just to see what else is added on to it since it is turning into this omnibus bill. But once it is actually moving, I can hopefully share some more. Obviously, we want that calendar issue addressed, but we'll see what else gets added to it, basically. That's all I got.
Thanks, Bailey.
Another great report from the legislative side, competing with the CTA, starting to become arch rivals of sorts. I like it, though.
No,
we're friends.
That's
Okay,
right.
very good, very good.
Girls support girls.
Last board report, but not least, the Cape Public School Foundation.
That's some exciting news.
Oh.
Does it involve a golf tournament?
It does. Monday, May 12th, the foundation golf tournament is at the Cape Country Club. So if you are interested, it is filling up fast, and get your team in quickly. Contact Amy McDonald at the foundation. It's always a good time.
There it is.
Rain or shine, it's always a good time.
Rain or shine.
I've been out on a golf cart when it starts pouring down rain, and it's still a good time.
Good time guaranteed. There it is. Next up, we have approval of consent agenda items. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Mr. Ritter, Dr. Fegley. So this consent agenda includes minutes from our March 24th meeting as well as our April 14th meeting, payment of bills, the DESE Career Ladder Program application approval for the 25-26 school year, as well as approval to participate in Root Ed continuation grant for the 25-26 school year. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda is approved. New business. This will represent the second reading and adoption of board policies BBBB, BDC, DFI2, GCBA, IC2, IGBI. IGCD, IGCDA, JEA, JED, and JHDF. Yes,
It's harder than it looks.
it is. It's a lot of letters. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ritter, Dr. Fegley, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Those policies are approved. The last item on the agenda is information and proposals from board members. Do we have any this evening?
Great job filling in.
Thank you, sir. Seeing none, we'll take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
All those in favor?
Oh, all those in favor. Oh, last thing. Oh, graduation. I didn't say graduation. CHS class of 2025. Friday, May 16th. Terry W. Kitchen Junior High School. And anticlimactic, the Booster Club Board Golf Tournament is July 11th, Friday at Cape Girardeau Country Club. Thanks, guys.